Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of
What Anna Said podcast.
I felt really honored that you even thought of me to be included in part of your Empower Fitness program, just because to me, I'm probably, I'm just barely starting out, probably one of the younger ones, so I felt like I was with the big dogs, when you invited me, I was like, okay, I think I'm doing something. I think it's working. So I was like, okay, the big dogs are inviting me. I think the big dogs are inviting me. That means I'm doing something right. But I was just really honored when you decided to just reach out to me about doing this, and then all our schedules. And that's one thing that I also loved that you thought of, was getting all these instructors and whatever worked best to their schedule, so that we're not having to do every week, or whenever we're able to fit in, we're able to do that. And then if one of us is not able to, if something comes up, we have another instructor ready to step in. And that was one thing I truly admired, just the love that was shown from our community every time we would come to Empower Fitness, to a classes. And one thing that I love that you also thought of was, it's not just Zumba. It's not just Zumba fitness. It's not just extreme hip hop step. And we had Zumba, we had step. We also had Visa with all her weights, her tires, and everything.
I know,
scaring us, burpees, all of that.
That's the best kind of workout. Like if I can do Visa in fall too, right? Because they got. If I can do that kind of workout every single day, but
those are the OGs.
Yes,
be scared of those guys.
The big dog.
Yes. But Kim, I have to tell you, whenever I came a couple times to Jane and LA's class, and you weren't an instructor yet. I don't know if you ever remember me telling you, I was like, girl, why aren't you an instructor? Because, you see someone like you, right, stepping. And the reason why I have ADHD. I don't know. I'm not. I just diagnosed myself, but my mind, if I hear music, I already think of a choreography, right? Even though the teacher's telling you to do, but I'm like, no. So that is why I have to really focus on your call outs to know what I need to do, right? Like Sally, she has to go by something like that. A structure. I'm not a structure person. I want to hear it and go off. And I need to learn how, but I see someone like you, Kim, that could go off, and I'm like, dude, that looks so tight. I want to do that so bad, but I will trip and fall on my face. But every time I would come, I'd like to angle myself where Kim is, because you're so bad at it, and you're so light on your feet. And whenever I saw, I was like, why? And I remember looking, I was like, why isn't she instructing? You're so bad. So whenever a year later, and then I found out on social media that you're an instructor, I was like, heck yes, finally. So we can have someone in our community because when Jane brought it, right? And when she brought it, and I was like, oh, I saw this in Utah. I saw this in Utah. And it was intimidating to me. How it was, right? It was intimidating to me. I was like, dude, I will so fall on my face because of my brain. It's like, no. So, but Kim was bad from the get whenever I first saw her. So,
Kim fell in love with step. I remember her, because back then when I tried to get them out to come to the step classes, she couldn't because I think the kids, and not only that, but prior to Jane and them bringing it out here, I told them, hey, I see this thing in Utah. I think we can all be instructors and bring that, me and all my dreams. And I was like, we three can do it. But Kim was like, yeah, whatever. But then Kim, I remember she would post on our sister's Snapchat. She was practicing her steps, getting all those call outs. So once Jane came out here and everything, Kim was already Kim was ready. I'm gonna go be an instructor. Going back to what you said about asking Nala that question, to get this started, that just goes to show you don't know unless you ask. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes that hurdle that you need to get over is just simply asking. And you never know. And what's the worst that's going to happen? The same thing that is already happening. Not having the thing that you're asking for. But see, you asked that question, got that yes, and then you were so shocked to find out that everybody said yes. So that's just an encouragement to our listeners out there. Maybe there's something out there that you want to do, and maybe you need help. Ask.
Yeah.
Go ahead and step out of that comfort zone.
Right.
So I just want to commend you for getting out of that comfort zone and asking, and then creating what we have today. It's inspiring.
It's inspiring to know that there's instructors out there that still want to share their talent and not get paid for it. Because we were holding a Zumba class at Trinity High School for a minute, and I was holding classes there just so I can find a free spot, because everywhere you go teach, right, you're supposed to pay a certain amount of fee. And so I was teaching there, and I wanted to teach with another instructor. So I reached out to her, and she goes, "Oh, well, how much are we getting for this?" And I was like, "Oh, shoot, it's free." And I was like, "But I am charging, but it's $5. But if you want it," and she goes, "Oh yeah." And but the vibe I was getting, I was like, "Man, our class is gonna feel that."
Oh yes,
because I could come here, there'll be one person, which is true. And in Power Fitness, we came one time, and it was actually it was two. It was Pooh and another lady, Lisa. And so because she came to my Zumba class in the rec center, and it was just us three that was in the culture hall, and it could be discouraging as an instructor, right? Like the energy is down, the vibe is down. We're kind of trying to figure out, but there's something inside you that you have to remind yourself, why did you start?
Exactly.
You didn't start because of the numbers.
That's right.
You didn't start because of the dollar amount.
Exactly.
Like we ain't getting rich off of this.
Right.
Like I remember my mom was telling me, like she said, "You're still doing it?"
Yeah.
And I said, and I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Are you making a lot of money from it?" And I was like, because my mom, man, like she will tell me how it is. She's like, "Why are you?" Because she doesn't know too. Sorry, Mom. The importance of health and fitness. Because I will even go there and try to make her, move, and she's just looking at me like, such a waste of time, And then but it's slowly she will know. But that's kind of like how the mentality of our community is once and it clicks, and then it's your life. Like I cannot start my day off without moving my body. And if I do start my day off without moving my body, I'm going like, okay, tonight, okay, when the kids go sleep, I'm going to go walk around. Okay, when I got to wake up extra early tomorrow. You got to fit it in, because if not, I am just not a happy person. You're not a happy mom. It's just,
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that it has shown me. It wasn't until I became an instructor that I really realized the importance of having fitness and health in my life, not just my life, but also my family. And I do remember you teaching the Zumba at Trinity, because I remember when I seen you and you're, I think with the volleyball players there,
Were you still in school?
No.
Oh, I was like, dang,
I'm not that young. Yeah, but I remember seeing a video of you teaching in the gym, and I remember thinking like, wow, that is so awesome. Because when I saw you, that was something that like I was interested. I was like, wow, how could I do that and take step there for just also for free, just for the community and just for the experience, for them to try something else. Like you said, when we as instructors know our why and our purpose, really we're not doing it for the money. We're doing it because that's that fire within us, that we love it and we want to show you. We want to show you how fun this could be. We want to show you, and then it's also a way to get your fitness in. And many times, when I have students come to my class, I don't even care. I just want you to show up. If you don't pay that $5, that is fine. Just please come to my class. So also with that, I just wanted to ask you, how has health and fitness not only affected you as a mom, but also your family as well? Being the mom, being a wife to your husband, how has it affected you and your family?
It's setting the bar for them, right? Letting them know that working out, if you're an athlete, is just not to be dominant on the court, but it's just overall, because we always tell our kids the ball will one day stop bouncing, and then you got to still learn how to get up and keep moving and find a reason to work out. Because I get it. You know, when we were younger and we're athletes, you know, working out was almost like a discipline, right?
Right.
Like, okay, everyone get on the line. Okay, everyone go outside on the track.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. But now it's like just changing our mindset about fitness. And how my kids, they know that from ever since they were real little, that they always saw mommy get up and work out. They always saw me get up and work out. And they are starting to see that now that Asilika is in college. And now she's like, man, I need to hurry up and get back to school because she has a schedule. So when was it? On Friday, she was like, Mom, I'm going to go back to school so I can, because whenever I'm at school, I'm on a schedule. And I go, oh, can I see you? Okay, when you come back, we're going to set up a schedule. And she was like, oh, no. And I was like, but they know the expectations of being a healthy, happy person. And it doesn't always have to be perfect. Like you don't have to have this kind of a class to be a good, right? It doesn't matter. Just go for a walk. I think walking is so it's so
underrated, right?
Underrated. Like, dude, going for a walk with my dog is like so good. And it's sometimes I think in our minds we feel like we have to go and grab tires and run sprints, right? You know? And I was like, okay, that's a good workout. You're like, no, like it's not. Just go for a walk. Simplify it. Because if you stress yourself out over it, that can also cause you to stress and gain weight for free. But yes, my kids, and my husband. I think it helps when your husband likes to work out too.
That's,
you know,
that's amazing.
You know, because if that doesn't, then you're like, dang, can you go do something with yourself? But I'm happy that he likes to go work out too, because we kind of pushed each other. Like, dang, did you work out today? No, I didn't. Okay, let's go tonight. And it's
love that.
So it helps.
I love that your whole family has taken on this new idea to us, to our people. But just like you said, with, you know, like your mom and even like our parents and the older generations that have come before us. And it's just for us, when you know better, you do better. So, you know, that's why we're trying to push it, because you can't unknow it now. You know, we know how important health is, and even the foods that we eat, the nutrition that we're getting. Just like you said, walking is so underrated. You know, sometimes I'm scrolling through Instagram trying to find a whole workout. You know, like
me too.
I need to find out what am I gonna do when I hit the gym. How about just start walking right now? How about put the phone down and start walking? Like, that's a billion times more than what you're doing in this moment. So just like you said, it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to complicate it. Like you were literally walking around and just doing squats, doing the little things that you already knew of, until you, like, as you developed who you were and as you picked up all these new things along the way, and seeing the redheaded girl who inspired you to try something new. That's just so amazing, of like, to have all of this available to our community, these resources that are so readily available for us now through Empower Fitness and all the fitness instructors who are working together, is just so amazing. We have no excuse.
There's no excuse. Like
all our listeners are listening. We have no excuse not to move. Exactly. Like
that's why sometimes, like, I mean, I want to put my sisters out there because, you know, they're like, oh man, it's like, I was like, bruh, you just need to get up and move. Just even if you're at home, right? Like I remember, I don't know if there was YouTube. I don't ever remember getting on YouTube when we were in Utah, but I remember Taibo. And I remember I had to look for the DVDs. And I was like, oh, because all my kids were sick. I couldn't go to the gym. So I was like looking for the DVDs for the Taibo. And then when I was doing it, I was like, dude, this is so nice. You get a really good workout in the comfort of your home while you're watching your kids. You know, so something as easy as that too it's right there. We just we know how to switch it off. We know how to justify a lot of things in our minds and be like, no, I just can't. I'm just too sad right now. And it's just a bunch of excuses until you find out you have high blood pressure. And then you have to go and get diabetes shots. Like, it's just, there's so many things that we can do that there's no excuses for. But then there's unexpected illness that
Yes.
could pop up. Like we never know.
We never see it coming.
Right.
Exactly.
But so there's, I guess everyone has its their own
journey.
Yeah.
And what I love about what you said is that exercise is so customizable.
Yeah.
You can customize it to your experience. You customize it to yourself as a mom. I see moms on social media all the time lifting their kids up, you know, and doing their sit-ups with their child in their hands or on their back, doing their push-ups. I mean, I've never been that strong, but I see people doing that, and that's amazing because you can really, like you said, you're working out inside your home, not even stepping out. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need special shoes or clothes, equipment to be able to get yourself. I mean, the shoes, debatable, but but you know, I mean, all of those things. I think for our community, especially because in Tonga, you're walking everywhere. You're so mobile. There's no convenience. Things, you know, you're eating you're literally eating by the sweat of your brow the crops that you have planted or what you pulled out from the ocean. Or you know, so I think that fitness was never something that was taught because we were living it. You know? It was something that it was part of our everyday. And so now being here in the States especially and having, you know, everyone's driving and all this convenience and you can just DoorDash
Uber Eats.
Right, exactly.
Gosh,
so now this is a conversation that needs to be taking place in our homes with our children, and we need to be the ones that are setting an example. We cannot blame our parents and you know, because they grew up differently than us. And so now it's time for us to take that and pass that information to our children, our parents, our community, just as you have done. And the way that it completely affects your husband and your kids. I mean, your daughter wanting to go back to school so that I can get back into my routine because it's keeping me, you know, straight, everything I need to do. Consistent, exactly. So just to see how important it is for us to have some type of to have that in our life, not like you said, you have to make time for it. Like whether you're waking up early or asking yourself, did I work out today? I need to move. I need to go on a walk. Yeah, that's all of those things are so important. And you're doing just that for all of us, all of our listeners that are listening. We will post all the information for Mumui's, you know, because I know this is the beginning, this is not the end. I know that this dream is going to develop, and whatever it is that you have in your mind, whatever vision that you have that you're going to bring to the community, we are so ready to support you in all of that. And it's just amazing. We're just going to be like, we just want to be here from the beginning because it's going to go into something else. We want to make sure that we're here from the start.
I just want to add one thing, Anna, is that sometimes when we're working out, right, like we like to work out and be like, okay, I got to lose weight for this wedding that's coming up. I got to lose weight for this cruise that's coming up. And instead of switching it up to be like, dude, I gotta change the way I am so I can watch my kid graduate one day. So I can one day see if I'm gonna have grandkids.
Exactly.
But like, I don't know why we don't think like that. And because I know a lot, I was like that too. Like when it started, I was like, dang, I'm gonna lose weight so I can one day get into a bathing suit without basketball shorts and a t-shirt over it. You know? Like just but I don't think there's anything wrong with that, setting short-term goals. But if I think I think we can do that, but it'd be like, okay, as soon as we can switch the way we think about it, then it's a lifestyle. Then it's just as important as getting up and brushing our teeth. Like it's just like that, like a routine that getting up, moving, it doesn't matter what it is. Even if I saw this on Instagram where one of these girls that I follow, she sets a timer on her and then she cleans. Right? Because I don't know what is. If I know someone's coming to my house, you best believe you never clean up that. Yes. And so I was like, dang, that's true. So she put a timer, and I don't do a timer. I do songs. How many songs?
There you go.
Okay, I was like, okay, I'm going to let this playlist finish. I better be done cleaning upstairs and downstairs about the time this playlist is done. And you get a good sweat, you know, and that too, like if you do that, sheesh, you know, it's part of your lifestyle and you're knocking off all these things on your list. Yeah,
sometimes we have to trick our mind or like play around in our mind to change our mindset so that we can get something done. That is so true. The playlist especially, I do that one. That's one of mine that I have to do so that I can get going.
Yes.
Music is just so
the word is escaping me, but music is just so
I
instrumental in that way, like
right.
so helpful in that way to get me moving, and for myself to get
Right.
me moving, cleaning the house, exercising, doing
Yes.
something I don't want to do because it takes you out of that,
Right.
you know, and mentally you're able to focus on the task at hand.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you know, I want to lose weight for this wedding,
Right.
for this occasion, over whatever. Instead of turning it around, so how about you just lose weight for your health, you know, like, for your health, right, for your kids, for exactly, and that goes into your why, your reason, because once you really have a solid reason for doing any goal, you're going to commit to it no matter what, you know, because the wedding's gonna come and go,
Right.
and then what's next, what's gonna keep you going,
Right.
so that is so real that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Get your why, and then rewire your brain however you need to rewire it so that you can do the things you need to do.
So true. Our mind is so powerful. Like what we really think, right, is really what we do.
Yes.
And like I don't know if you guys do affirmations.
Yes.
I don't. I try to, but I do just a prayer, and I do a prayer out loud. And I hear myself praying for the things that I want to accomplish that day. And when you hear yourself, you feel accountable to own up to it.
That is so true.
And then you show up and you do it. Just like a job, right? Like our kids, they already know there's going to be food in the fridge. They already know mommy's going to take me to school and to whatever things that they got going on. Like it's already set in their minds that me and their dad is going to show up every single time. It's the same thing like when we show up for ourselves. Working out is so vital to our life. And if we put that into, I don't know, to play, I feel like our community will be so much happier.
For sure.
And stop judging each other.
Exactly.
You know, because everyone is going through their own struggle. Like you never know what that person is going through, what that mom is going through. You never know. And fitness was my way of pulling me out. And if I could share that to anyone, like find your outlet. And even if it's like painting or playing, you know, pickleball. You know, because pickleball is a huge thing. I haven't tried it.
I've never, but it is going crazy right now.
We went to Target we went to Target. They had a whole section dedicated.
It's crazy.
Like, is it really that
I know
popping right now?
It is. And then I see it on ESPN. I was like,
okay, I didn't know it was.
I didn't know give me a rating.
Okay.
I know, but even if it's that, right? Something like pickleball, like I haven't tried it. I really want to. I'm afraid I'm going to get addicted.
I know. That's the reason why. Because I'm worried about. I might be out on that court. You know, moving things around.
Being serious. You know what? Me. And I can't. I have to control myself. Like that's why sometimes I can't play volleyball or basketball because it's like me and my husband will start fighting.
Right, like I'm too competitive.
Why weren't you down there for the pass? Right. Why didn't you pick up that ball? It's like, okay, I need to go sit down because
I need to remember who I am.
I still need my knees to wake up the next day. But I think that's why I haven't tried pickleball. But I always see it right here off Main Street. It's packed every day.
It's a new thing.
It's the new thing. And a lot of the Tongans are into it too.
Like
OGs. One time I walked in here and they taped it up as a pickleball.
Wow.
I know, court. I was like, what is this? They were like, oh, it's a pickleball court. I was like,
whatever's getting people moving, I guess.
That's what's up. And I love that. I'm like, hey, whatever makes y'all move and sweat. And, but whatever motivates our people to move is. And so, you know how my dad, he iates, right? He retired from American and he just started doing his iate. And he forever will think he's in his 20s. Like he will still iate until but he's moving a lot slower now. And I remember when we all lived together and me and Afi were going for a jog and he was fixing our neighbor's fence. And I didn't know he was fixing our neighbor's fence. And I was jogging on the thing and I was like, oh shoot, Tati, what are you doing? And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm jogging. And he was like, went over there holding the paddle for him. And he was like, just saying how why do you guys, why do you and Afi get up and run this early? And I said, just to exercise. And he goes, this is when we first moved back from Utah. And he said, this is my exercise. Go grab the thing. This is my, this is my exercise. And I was like, hey, we're not trying to fight over here.
Just, you win. You win.
Just tell me to come help you, you know. Just tell me to come help you. But like even our OGs, right?
Yes.
Like how his yate is his exercise. And I go, yes, that's your exercise.
Right, exactly.
And it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of work. Like even just putting away the tools is a lot of work. And it's that loading up the truck and unloading the truck. Like having my dad do that is inspiring, and seeing him still being physically able to do it.
Exactly.
You know, like your dad too.
Right. Yeah.
And it's them doing that in like all these little habits that they've been doing when they were in Tonga.
Yes, exactly.
It's why they are like so hardcore right now. And it's like no, like they'll look at what my workout is and like, really?
Right.
I was like, it's so bubblegum. Like it's like I'm like, okay, why don't you go and get the forget a pedal and come in? You know, and it's like, but our parents, right? They said, even though we don't put them as my dad inspired me to be a Zumba instructor, but it's not that. It's what we watched when we were little, right? The hard work ethic of moving and constantly moving, to be able to be healthy, like how they're still going, being able to help still provide for them, that is inspiring. And hearing that you're gonna go. Your dad?
Yes. Right after this, I get to have fun in the sun.
That is that I love that. Still till this day, my dad will use us girls.
Right.
And I have two. There's three of us.
Yes.
And then I have two brothers, but my dad will call us girls before he calls.
Right. Every time.
Yes. And it's like, dude, what in the? But I love it though. You know, I love. It really shows me hard work. Hard work
definitely, yes.
And it humbles me.
Yes,
you know? It humbles me and helps me keep grounded on how we started from the get.
Exactly.
You know,
right?
But yeah. And is it a big job? You guys' job?
Yes, it's a big job. There's always a job.
Yeah.
You finish one and get another one.
I know.
Yeah. It's the nonstop, which is a blessing. Yeah. But just like you said, it's physically demanding.
Yes.
So to see your dad still moving, and I know that a lot of that comes from the strength that he has built over time with doing yate, because it's so physical and you know so laborious, and that keeps him moving. And that's why he's moving even now at his age, you know. And that's the same thing with my dad. He doesn't move as quickly as he did, you know, when we first started, but he's definitely still moving. And a lot of times, you know, like if I see his forearms, you know, and the muscles in his arms, and that's just from like the 2x6 and stuff, you know, that's just from, you know, or like or like digging a post, you know, cutting through the roots, just all that strength that comes from that same repetitious movement over and over again. And so what you said earlier about how we are today, like an accumulation of all the things that we think, all of our thoughts. So whenever you look at something that you don't like in your life, like you said, through prayer or affirmations, having those things repeated out loud, that will change you. That will have a change on your mindset, you know, and then in turn change you. So everything that you're doing right now, your habits, your thoughts, even make you who you are. And so just very important to keep that, to make sure that you're aware of that, and that if you want to implement these things, like how you said health is important, waking up early in the morning, running around, and your parents are like, what are you doing? What is this new thing that got you like running in the early morning to do? Those are the things that you start, the habits that you make, so that you can, it's just like brushing your teeth, like you said, it's your daily habit. Right, exactly.
Because we can be so mean to ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but dude, if my mean self was a person, like I can be so mean to myself where I start to believe what I'm telling myself. And I don't know if you've heard of this quote. I don't know what the quote is word for word, but it's saying, what you say is your kid's inner voice or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That quote? And that changed, right? Like, you know, our kids see the ugly of us and they see the good of us. and they still forgive us
Yeah.
and love us
Yeah.
and they think the world of
Right.
us, right? And every time I think about that, I always think of how I need to see myself, how my kid sees me.
Yes.
And it's so hard to think like that. Like, it's a
yes.
daily
Tough.
thing.
Yeah.
A couple times throughout the day,
Yes.
where you're constantly trying to tell
Right.
yourself, you good, you
Exactly.
good. Like, it's
Right.
okay
Yeah.
if you didn't go see that girl. It's
Yeah.
okay if you didn't make the phone call.
Right.
It's okay if you didn't. And because constantly we're like, man, I didn't do anything to serve anyone
Right.
today.
Yeah.
Like, girl, you
Yes.
serve these kids right
Yeah.
here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like, I'm always like, you're so mean to yourself,
Yeah.
but it's like that constant reminder of
Mhm.
you good.
Yes.
Just relax your brain
Right.
Yes.
and know that you're good. And
Right.
but I think the endorphins that you get when working out
Yes, it
helps
helps.
that
Yes.
so. Endorphins is so true, dude.
Yes.
When that releases,
Mhm.
man, you're just so happy.
Right.
You think positive of yourself.
Yeah.
You speak good about yourself
Yes.
and others,
Mhm.
and you're just a better person overall.
Yes.
And that comes through working out and
Exactly.
listening to good music.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
man,
Mhm.
Filling up yourself with all those good things
Yeah.
definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
I know
Yep.
after I had my fifth one, this is when we started
Yeah.
developing everything that we've developed, the podcast, the
Yeah.
scholarship
Yeah.
program, and all that. That's when I really had this struggle with my thoughts because I'm really mean to myself.
yes,
And so
Yes.
then while I'm trying to develop into a better version of myself, that ugly version is like, hey,
Yeah,
let me
remind you.
let me tell you real
Yes.
quick. No. Yes.
Yes.
So like, it's like this person like trying to grab you down while I'm trying to walk up. So I had to do a lot of, prayer,
Yeah.
Speaking life into myself,
Yes.
because then I was starting to become ugly to those around me
Right.
as well. And it was affecting,
Right.
My sisters will see it and they're like, hey, check
Yeah.
yourself real quick.
Yeah.
And then I have to, come out of that.
Yeah.
But I know that fitness, finding time for myself to go and attend Kim's classes, and then you guys having the Empower Fitness, that helped bring me out of that as well. Because then I get
Yes.
to move and get those endorphins,
Yeah.
that
Yes.
endorphin release, because it
Yes.
really helps.
Yes.
I feel like it gives your brain some space to like breathe.
Yes.
So that you're not like, you're erasing, you're like, what do you call it? Where you, it's just like erasing all those ugly thoughts, all those little cells that are trying to take over, and filling it in with new stuff. So very important. What you think is definitely what you become, and what you say. So like, watch your words. It's important.
Yes.
So
I don't know why we're like that,
I have
especially
no idea.
women, because my
Yeah.
husband is not like that.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I tell him what's going on in my thoughts, he's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Same.
let me tell you what's going on in my
Yeah.
thoughts. And he was so, after I had my third kid, right, in Utah,
Yes.
they said, I think you're depressed. We're going to do depression pills and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there not saying a word. Like, it's just so brand new to
Yes,
me. Like,
yes.
when my first doctor told me that I was gaining so much weight, and I was just looking at him, like, just listening. And my husband got so offended.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, she's not depressed. She's good.
Yeah.
Get your bag. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we left. But it's just not knowing what's going on, right? Like, and this was back in 2010. And I remember going through it and was just like, man, what is going on? Just the mean self, just talking to us, to ourselves about. And then when we moved here, and I was telling him, let me tell you what goes on in my mind, that inner voice. And he was just shocked.
Yeah.
And why? Like, what? Why do you think like that about yourself? And I was like, you don't? You don't think like that? And he was like, no, I'm good. I was like, you cocky little, just kidding. But I was like, but it's not him. It's just him knowing that was the adversary trying to take over his thoughts. And that's all Satan wants us to think about, right? Is what a horrible person you are. You ain't not, just go sit in your corner and don't say nothing. And wants us to feel that way. But at the same time, we're not created to be like that. We can't. You're right. And so
that's how I know that I'm doing something that I'm getting closer to whatever it is that I'm created for. Because once it becomes more stronger, I'm like, hey, now, what am I about to discover?
Yup. I know. I love that, Sally, because postpartum is huge too.
it
And
is.
I didn't know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
My first and my second, and then when Azzy came, it's real.
Yeah, it's real, and
real.
it's so weird too. Because
Yeah.
we're like, what is this?
And then
Yes.
and I don't know if it's our culture too, but it's we're kind of ma to talk about it, right?
Oh,
like
definitely.
right, like you don't want to ever look weak.
Exactly.
Right.
You
Yes.
know,
Because
and then-
I don't want anybody coming like, hey, like
Yeah,
don't
give me
baby
that-
me.
I know, don't baby
now you're gonna
me.
make me feel worse.
Right. Right. And you don't ever. And then it's almost like when you do talk about it, it's like
Right.
You know, you're just
Like
being
laupisi.
laupisi.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to look laupisi.
Yeah.
You want to look like a responsible
And then-
adult. I can
right.
control myself.
Right. And then you
it's
suffer
like,
by
dang,
yourself.
Who do I talk to?
Right.
You know, and then sometimes, you know, you do talk to people that are close to you, and sometimes they will make it into a joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And right, it's us
Right.
talking
Yeah.
people, we
Right.
make everything into
Yeah.
a joke.
Yes.
And sometimes that we'll take that joke, and when we're home by ourselves,
Yeah.
that joke will come to mind.
It does. Yeah.
And it's real.
Yes.
We don't ever talk about it
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
But that's why sometimes the words are huge. They're so
Yes.
powerful. So you have to watch. And I'm trying to do that every day because, man, we got the way too much.
Right, we do.
Right? Especially with our own kids.
Yes.
Yes. Especially with our own kids. Like, they'll talk and we're like, sit.
Yeah.
Stop being a punk.
Yes.
Put your shoes on, go outside,
Yes.
you know? But then it's like, crap, you know?
Right.
It's I need to see really what is going on with
Yeah.
them. What are they? What's really going on? It's not just them being a baby right now. There's
Right.
something going on that we don't know.
Yeah.
And it's funny because May is mental health
Oh yeah.
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 mental health month, and it's huge.
It is.
It's huge.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's I think it's affecting a lot of us, but we don't know where to or how to talk about it
Yep.
or where it's even coming from.
Right.
And sometimes we think that we just keep it down inside. Just
Right.
keep it down inside. Don't talk about it because I don't want to burden anyone. I
Right.
don't want to be fakahela to my husband. Just keep it shoved down
Right.
deep, right?
Yeah.
And then once it starts
Right.
stacking
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh! And then you,
Yeah.
and then you blow up,
Blow up.
and then your
Yes.
husband, but it's fitness helps with that.
Yes.
If you don't know that,
does.
listeners, I promise it helps with that.
It does.
That
Sometimes
is-
I'll go on a run and I'm like crying on my run because it's releasing all of that, you know,
Yes,
replacing it
yes.
with the good.
There's something about running. I used to join a thing called 100-Day Run when I was in Utah, and you're supposed to run every day for 100 days. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like that. But when I went through that, man, it pulled everything ugly out of me, and I
Yeah.
was just running, crying, running and crying, and I would run and cry, and the neighbors would look at
Yep,
me like I
right.
was, but I didn't care, and I'm like talking out loud
Yes.
too. I'm like screaming and talking with my AirPods in, but it's healing.
It
You
is.
know, whenever you do that. So
Yes.
yeah, if I see you running and
Yes.
cry, I'm like,
Yep.
I hear you, Sally.
Kim is such
That's what we're talking about right
yeah.
That's exactly what we're
Kim
talking
just gave
about.
us an example.
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
true. But
That's why I love running. They're always like, oh, we don't want to run, but that's my way of releasing all of
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah. I don't look like I run, but
No, but
I
you
run. I
wait, are you
jog.
going to be in a marathon?
I wanted to do a marathon, by the end of the
Oh,
year. I was supposed to do one
wow.
last year. It was just like as a hoorah, celebrate 30 years of life, but
Oh wow.
we're gonna have to do it this year instead.
Yeah, running is no joke. What
Yeah.
kind of shoes do you run with?
That's
Sorry.
the thing. I regular shoes,
Yeah.
but I know that I reached out to Visa and she
Yeah.
told me that there's the Fort Worth running company.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go over there so they can, look at my feet, see how I
Yes.
run. Yeah, I have
Yes.
flat feet, so I definitely need
Oh,
some
arch.
special,
Arch
shoes,
support.
arch support.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Slapping the ground. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Oh my
Look,
God.
all the jokes. I'll take it. But yes.
That's
Other
good.
than that, just my
Good for
regular
you.
Under Armour shoes, running
Yeah.
shoes.
There's these Adidas Ultra Boosts that I
Mhm.
got. Oh my gosh.
They're so good.
They're so I mean, you cuz the hookahs and
Yeah.
the what was the other one?
Asics? No.
A6.
No.
No. What is
Brooks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then my kids got me this Adidas Ultra Boost.
Mhm.
girl, I don't know,
You feel like
maybe
you could
because
fly?
yeah, but it made a huge difference
Wow.
with,
Yeah.
and I don't know because I saw everyone wearing the hookah in the Brooks, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, it didn't really,
Mhm.
but I felt like pillows were all around my feet on the
Ooh.
Ultra Boost
Wow.
Adidas. It's so, but Adidas makes wide shoes.
Yeah.
So the Ultra Boost, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
so good.
That's good to know.
Definitely gonna go try them out.
Yeah.
And try to
Yeah,
run on the treadmill.
Adidas Ultra Boost, and it made a difference. I always have to put it on. It's hecka dirty. I always put it on when I know I'm going to go run
Yeah.
or go for a long walk
Mhm.
in those shoes. But
Oh, that's
shoes
good
make
to
a
know.
huge,
They make a huge difference. Your
difference.
shoes, your socks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I ran every day,
Mhm.
I also heard that you're not supposed to wear the same shoes all the time.
Yeah.
You're supposed to switch it up.
Yes.
And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. Excuse to get new shoes,
Right.
more
Exactly.
shoes.
Exactly. Yeah, my husband's looking at me like, "What do you mean you need new shoes?" I was
No.
like, "To run it."
Yes.
Runner things.
Yes.
Wow.
But that's just an investment in your health, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
just don't buy the shoe and then not wear
run.
it for its intended purpose. Right.
For fashion.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey,
Oh my
'cause I be
goodness.
doing that too.
Yes.
I know. I love shoes.
Not your own tip.
Yeah.
That's why I put the tip out there. 'Cause that's Thank you so much, Mui Mui, for your time.
Yes.
Thank you for just making time available for us to be able to sit here and be able to sit here and just hear about your story and your reason why, and you're just such an inspiration, and we truly admire all the things that you have overcome, and to see you continue till this day with fitness and health, not just for yourself and not just for your family, but for your community as well, starting in Power Fitness. We just want to thank you. We also can't wait to support you and just see you in this journey.
Thank you for tuning in to our NSL podcast. Bye.